All right, Cyber Traders, good afternoon and welcome on back here this Thursday, August 5th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. As always, welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Great to see all of our students and members alike inside the Cyber Group room, including Norman, Leda, John, Bill, Lewis, Doyle, Michael, David, who called out space just before, and all of our trial members alike inside Cyber Group. Like I had said, great to see you back, and for all of us on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube. Welcome on back as well. So BTBT here, a Bitcoin mining related stock. We've been trading this stock really across the last 2 weeks. This is not a daily chart, so this is not 2 days. That's 2 weeks. But switch this back on the daily chart here. This stock's taken off right from a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Stock popped from 5 up towards 9. Ended up over time building up and breaking higher, and really, dating back to really I think it was early this week from Monday. Once it broke that top, it's only been going up since. So today we ended up seeing this stock. It took a little bit to get the gears going. Once the market opened up, it ended up consolidating and pulling back towards 12, ended up building back up, and really once it broke over 1250, the rest was history. You could just see that on the 5-minute chart zoomed out there from the market open. But across the day, this stock's been building a really good trend off the lows and taking us into this very time of the day right now. It's making a hell of a slingshot now to get back up towards 16. So easily enough for us to do. We'll put this stock on our watch list for this afternoon. It's not necessarily an easy trade. So, with that in mind, you might want to be a little patient waiting for false breaks of big levels first, and then seeing if it makes another break shortly after for you to really jump in on that position. Stock ended up building a trend up off the lows going into the early afternoon and really accelerated from it just now. So, it's going to go one of two ways. It's going to build up and break out higher later on, or it's not, and it's going to come back down seemingly towards this trend line, if not through it. So, normally Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I talk about Bitcoin, show the chart, and I'm not going to show that right now, but it's to say, got a nice healthy push across the board here. Markets were up today, and Bitcoin really across the last hour, 2 hours has been just popping really nicely. So, definitely a good beneficiary of the move. BTBT. We'll check out, I guess, the others like Riot and Mara. You can see Riot just now popping over 34. Mara at the highs. We'll check out our Canon trade. I guess getting up there right now. So for the meantime, I'll definitely put the BTBT trade on our main list. Going back to that stock really quickly, the last thing I want to comment on that move is that if the stars do align, if this ends up really beginning to pop up higher, I would assume major resistance off of 17 or shortly above 17. And I say that based off just historical resistance from the weekly chart. So as I was going through this a bit earlier, I found it kind of tough. It wasn't really as if there was a series of highs or lows that were holding that well. If there was like one, it was right around 1707, 1710. You can kind of see right over here, it kind of dipped down towards 17, held right under 1707 here, held under 1707 here, little pop and drop from that price perhaps. So who knows? We'll see if this ends up beginning to push up higher and then testing that 17-ish area going into the close. But otherwise, though, we did really well, across the board, across the gainers list otherwise. So we'll talk about a couple of these stocks here right now. The SCR trade, may as well start from the top. Stock is a buyout. I know it actually had a bit of movement after the market opened up. So the news that came out on this SCR stock, it had to do with Penn National Gaming. There was some buyout where I think they ended up purchasing it for a total of $2 billion. SCR, the score. I think they're a Canadian sports, digital sports company. We ended up seeing the per share transaction. It says that they ended up acquiring it for $17 per share in cash. And then it says 0.2398 shares of Penn for a total value of $34 per share. So it ended up leading to a bit of a funky move here after the open. Ended up dumping off right away, then making this big pop and slingshot from 25 up to, seemingly close to 33, where it's near now. But, normally buyouts don't move, and that's typically just once it's at the listed price. So this had a little bit of a ways to go to get to 34. It's still not there yet, but for right now, I'd still expect this to just be more flat than anything here. Really, our attention was more on the ZY trade from earlier this morning. Actually, let me get back to the daily chart there. I just noticed that now. So the ZY stock, we ended up seeing get crushed in pre-market yesterday morning, and the stock was shortable actually yesterday. So it ended up leading to a nice little squeeze up early, but then ended up dumping back down later on here, right? So going into the day today, we're only hopeful, right? I mean, early in pre-market, it's not offering us that much really by 8:30ish or so. Then we start to see a little buying by 9 o'clock. Then all of a sudden it's 9:15. This thing's taken off. So for a stock that's down as much as the ZY trade, we only hope to see this type of squeeze up. It's not guaranteed. Again, I showed this even, I think, from yesterday. Just look at the ARDX stock. It's back from a month ago, 3 weeks ago at this point. It was down as much percentage wise as the ZY stock was. Why did that not move up? So you can't just guarantee that we're going to see this dead cat bounce, this short term pop or squeeze up. And if it comes, then from that point we'll be there to try and capitalize on it. So for what it's worth, this stock, after breaking out over 9 and really exploding after the market opened up, it still gave us a hell of a lot more after. Ended up popping and dropping, but making another run back up right from the 1150 level. I don't have the opening halt print on this trade, but just to shoot from the hip, my guess is that the opening halt print from when this got halted and reopened up, my guess is that price ended up holding as a bottom, and which led to this run back up here. So this ZY trade ended up doing really nicely for us earlier today, and there still could be room to see this fill more of the gap on the daily chart than from what we have. So I don't mind putting this on our main list alongside the BTBT. It's not going to be my top pick at this point, but in hopes of this building a higher low, perhaps even here from 1350 and popping back up, we'll keep this in mind. All right. I know Norman ended up getting about 15 or 16 cents. He was in on the CDXC trade, or CXDC rather. Ended up making this big pop from 50 cents seemingly up towards 93, 94 cents the high. It's kind of close there now. So maybe I'll come back to this at the end. CDXC. I'll kind of fish through everything else first. All right, got a bunch of us today joining us on YouTube. Actually, a much bigger number than what we normally got. Normally, we have about 7 or 8 of us on YouTube today. We got about 12 of us joining us today. I appreciate that. Right now, we got FLGC pushing up after the market opened up, ended up making a second win type of move, and it actually broke over the high back from Tuesday, but it was relatively quick pop and drop from there. So this FLGC trade, I don't know, unless if it ends up popping back up, I think I'll pass. The ASTR. This stock did really nicely for us today too. We kind of relate to the party on this. I need to, be honest there, but ended up building this really nice trend across the morning. I ended up calling this one out as it was at 1050. I think even a little bit above that price. And so I didn't really trade this. I thought I was late to the draw, but man, I guess not late enough. This stock ended up pushing up even from that point, 1050ish, 1070 up towards, just about a buck higher. Right? If it was shortable, I'd be even more interested in it now at this point in the day. If it was closer to the highs, I'd expect more of a pop and continuation, but that's not the case. Already started to crap out here off of 11, down about 70 cents from 11. So I don't know. I feel like this is going to probably just continue to drop off throughout the afternoon. I don't think it's as likely to make support spike back up. Now, we were just talking about it. This NAOV, this definitely is at the highs, obviously just popped now. So an easy one for us to slip on our list here. The stock we're also familiar with, ended up trading the stock on and off over the last week and a half. Stock popped back from the 26th of July, 23rd, my apologies, popped from 73 cents, basically a $2 move, right? 73 to 272. Then it popped up higher in pre-market, likely the following morning. But from that point, we had our big dump off. So it seems like the stock's just been building a really big pennant since, like just the highs squeezing in, the lows squeezing in at the same time. Pretty interesting. I mean, for right now, this stock easily put this on our list. It's over 250, showing a lot of buying seemingly off that level and above that level. So let's see if this can get going right now. CTRM. This stock did really nicely for us here too earlier this morning. Myself and Fausto were both in this trade. I ended up getting the entry off right over the opening bell print from 228. Ended up pushing it up towards just about 250. I left some money on the table from that point too. It's a cheap stock that you could load up on a few thousand shares on, has tight spread, very liquid order book. It's not to do that on every single trade that you have a stock like that, but early in the morning to see a stock trending up, breaking through a big level, that's the best type of, entry I like to take. So ended up giving me that opportunity probably about 10 minutes after the open here. It was right here actually at the time, popped up. All right, so see what else we got here. The NAOV, CTRM. Oh, you know what? CTRM is actually shortable. Just realized that right now. I didn't realize that earlier. I guess that could have been a nice little short trade there. Let's see what else we got though. Let's see the AMPE stock, familiar name, cheapy. Not a whole lot really going on right now. DDOG, also a familiar name, more as a swing than anything else. And stock ended up popping off of earnings this morning. I don't know if it's at all-time highs. That's the only interesting point really I'd like to share. But yeah, all-time highs. So if that piques your interest, DDOG, otherwise pretty flat, across the day here. All right, a couple other names here. XXII, GoGo, just stocks we've called out in the past. Got AMC up to over 13.5%. Wow, look at this move right now on AMC. So I wrote AMC down this morning on my watch list, or on my side list at least. I know Fausto, put it on the main watch list for all of us otherwise. And, with that, ended up making this big pop and drop at the market open. Looks like it ended up finding support roughly off 29, and the rest is history. So, man, this stock ended up making a really nice push. And again, I'm tripping myself up right now. I don't know what's going on here. I got to jump back to a daily chart here. That threw me off for a quick second there. But AMC obviously at the highs of the day right now, on the way up towards 34 resistance, steady trends. Yeah, definitely. And you know what? I saw Express up today. I kept seeing it pop up on my Benzingo radar at the highs of the day, Nah, it's not really getting that push that AMC's getting now. You could see what I'm talking about, though. This stock was pushing up all across the morning into the early afternoon. Both were the original Reddit stocks back in late January, right? I mean, GameStop really was the first one, but GameStop, you had the AMC trade, Express. We'll check out maybe BlackBerry. That was the other one. BlackBerry having a decent day, up just about 7%. It's not really the most volatile stock out there. I'll check in with it at the end. Maybe I'll slip it on there. All right, so see what else we got here. Otherwise, then from there, we'll hop over to the losers list. Oh, that was actually at the bottom. All right, yeah, we'll hop over to the losers list here, see what we have on that side of the field. Again, no Bitcoin analysis today. If you're in for Bitcoin, we'll do that tomorrow. FVRR, shortable, down big at the lows. Just very expensive. It's the only reason why I wouldn't follow this stock. That's all. KPTI, stocks down big. Liquid order book, pretty cheap. But it's kind of spiking back up a little bit. Not spiking, but, turning the other way, going back up. If it was pulling back, I'd be really interested in continuation on the way down. And to be really honest, we've been doing really well on these afternoon shorts across the last week and a half, 2 weeks, between Nikola, between CCL Carnival, which is having a good day today. And then just yesterday, right, we were talking about it. We traded it, the skill stock. I ended up jumping in short right from 12.25. It wasn't like the biggest trade to write home about, but led to continuation. So at least for that last one, KPTI, I mean, just with what we've had, I'd be interested in this if it was right at the lows on the way down. But I don't know. I feel like it might just be more flat throughout the rest of the afternoon. COM, it's on the way down. Liquid order book, not really an iceberg order showing at 1650. Doesn't need to have one there to make that as support. Looks like there was some volume on the bid that was filled earlier off of 1660 and 1650. This one's certainly on the way down compared to the KPTI. I don't know. I'll put the comp trade on our list here. All right, cool. Party City, not a whole lot really happening there. And, it might seem like I'm lazy as I kind of just skim through the losers list, but just from experience, to tell you the truth, it's not even the fact of the market being up today. That might play a very small part in it, but more so than anything else, it's just the fact that more stocks on the losers list are more just washed up throughout this time of the day. A lot of the volume is traded from earlier in the morning, and, for the stocks that dropped off, unless if they're still, shortable and at the lows, I wouldn't be as interested in seeing some sort of, reversal or tight range. All right, from P Trader on YouTube, welcome back. What do you expect of the BTBT trade? So we talked about that just earlier to start off the meeting. If you join late, it's for me to just say we're looking to see this begin to build up higher, hold support off of 16. So it's pretty choppy around 16 right now. That's not a good sign to begin. You'd hope to see this begin to squeeze up sooner than later, given the lower high that's being built currently. Otherwise, if it ends up popping higher, notice the level that's on my daily chart there, 1707. Roughly around 17, maybe a little bit above 17. That's a historical level that I found, and that was more from the weekly chart. All right, so the NAOV trade, Tina, in on 2,000 shares right now, practically where it's trading now at 257. So let's hope that she gets a nice push on this trade soon. All right, from Leda, the Newegg stock, NEGG. It's at the highs, right? It's just got too big of a spread. I don't know if you're looking to do it on one share, two share, that's fine. But it's up big. I mean, hey, it's up big. It's at the highs, right? Stock ended up making a huge move for us back in early July, right? So for all those reasons, I like it. Just that spread's too crazy. All right, let me check out Benzinga Pro here quickly, then we'll wrap it up. I don't think there's much else that I had missed, though. The NAOV stock, getting the ping right now from Benzinga. Clove at the high of the day. That's kind of slow. Tradable. Did I mention the BYSI? I didn't, but there's not really much to mention, though. I mean, it's shortable, but it also has a pretty ugly spread. Stock was moving off of news yesterday in the morning. It was up 315% in pre-market, and it was shortable then, as it is now. But I was interested in it yesterday because it was trading a lot more volume. And to be honest, I mean, as thin as the book was yesterday, it was actually a bit more filled in than what you're seeing here. So, it's something to keep in mind day to day, but unless if it has signs of life on the way up, I'm not too interested in a long. All right, folks. So I think that just about wraps it up from me here. For all of us on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, I appreciate you sticking with me each and every day, including today, each and every afternoon. So if you have any other questions that you would like to ask me, I'm going to try and do this going forward. I've been good this week on it. Please send over any trading related questions right to my email address. My name is Josh Levitan. My email address right there, josh@ctutrading.com. I had a couple questions get sent in from this week. I wrote back to you folks just over the last day, and keep them coming in. Otherwise, though, folks. All right. For all of us inside the trading room right now, Michael, Tina, Leda, Grant, Bonnie, Michael. I look forward to speaking with you folks coming up just right around 3:30 Eastern time. Rich will be on the mic coming up at 3 o'clock. I'll talk to you folks then. Take care.